This is C-Fry's 2011-2012 winter weather forecast brought to you by the Home Depot. And of course, we have lots to talk about concerning the upcoming 2011-2012 winter weather season. And I am donning the UCLA hat in the spirit of we have a lot of interesting things brewing, so let's get right down to it. We'll start off taking a look at this ENSO graphic, which shows us that we are in the code blue. We are headed towards another La Nina winter, which means that anything under that line, that zero line there, means that we're in the negative, which is La Nina. Anything above that is El Nino, that's positive. And if you look at this graphic here, it shows that we're going to kind of wobble back and forth between the -1 and the zero line, so we're going to stay in that weak to moderate La Nina pattern through January and February. So what exactly is La Nina? Well, if you look at this map here, the waters in the western Pacific, right below the equator off of South America, they are cooling, and they're cooling at a pretty intense rate. If it was El Nino, they would be warming, and you would see yellows, reds, and oranges instead of blues. And as those easterlies continue to strengthen, those colder temperatures will move from east to west, and that will have a significant influence on our winter climate in North America. Compare El Nino with La Nina here. Here's El Nino first. The Pacific jet stream dives to the south, taking a series of storm systems with it, and to our south it's more wet. To our north in the Ohio River Valley near the Great Lakes it's drier. So we're caught in this limbo area. And you can see where the low pressure system is in the northern Pacific. That allows warm, mild air to circulate around that low. And you can see the polar jet is confined to the north. So areas near the Canadian-U.S. border, they see less snow as a result. We get more storms, more severe than snow during an El Nino. With the La Nina, a lot of role players on the map are reversed. You see the blocking high pressure in the northern Pacific, which allows the variable, the polar jet, to go north and curve back down. And then you have the Pacific jet, which kind of all meet, and we get a lot of storm systems that come right over us. So we get a lot of active weather. During a typical La Nina, if you're not taking into account other factors, we're going to have a wet winter, but also a more mild winter. So you could see if both an El Nino and La Nina are true to form, it's hard to get snow and those cold Arctic outbreaks if the jet stream stayed the way it was the whole time. What about the Atlantic? Well, you could see the North Atlantic Oscillation versus the Arctic Oscillation. These are two huge critical pieces in determining how the winter weather shapes up around here. You could see the low pressure heights and the high pressure heights. They kind of battle throughout the entire the winter months. And who wins out has a big influence whether we see the cold Arctic outbreak that dives down here from Canada, or if we get the mild Pacific air when the jet stream kind of flattens out more zonally, and we get a winter that, at least to me, it's not ideal, especially if you're the cold snow ice lover that I am. So again, you have to ask yourself, what do you want over Greenland? Do you want the low pressure slash heights or the high pressure slash heights? Because if you want the low to be over Greenland, then basically you want the mild Pacific air flowing, again, zonally from the Pacific Ocean down to our neck of the woods. That will provide a warmer than usual winter with less snow. Now, if you got the blocking high up there, that's going to force the jet stream to dip. When that happens, meteorologists say it's a negative NAO because it allows the cold air to plunge southward from Canada. When you have the low over Greenland, then you say it has a positive NAO. And again, NAO stands for North Atlantic Oscillation. Let's take a look at what the Farmer's Almanac is saying. They are this definitely fits what a La Nina looks like, a very mild, very wet pattern. I don't completely agree with this, just because I believe the NAO is going to be negative this year, mostly negative. This winter is really going to be divided into thirds. Last year it was divided in halves, where you had a part 1 and a part 2. Part 1 was really cold, lots of snow in the south. And then part 2, like the second week of February, it was warm and we had early spring. I think that this winter we're going to see a early cold snap and a late cold snap, and then a classic January thaw in the middle, maybe the last half of January, maybe part of February, where the middle, what's sandwiched in between, is going to be a period of kind of a teaser of spring, if you will. If we look at this map, I didn't create this. However, I do agree with the principle here that we're going to have periods of cold and snow, enough of it in December, parts of January and February, that we go colder than normal. And in this graphic, you can see that from the start of December to the end of February, we're going to be a couple degrees below normal as far as temperatures go. Precipitation, equal chances. We could go either way, but we're definitely not going to be like southwestern Texas where we're drier than normal. Now, NOAA, their prediction center, they're equal chances with temperature. We're kind of, again, in that limbo area. It could go either way. And then precipitation, notice that they put a bullseye, a good chance of above average precipitation this winter, right over Kentucky and Tennessee. So that's exciting. Here is my prediction. I see several storm tracks taking shape, one that cuts across the Great Lakes, and two, that one going right over us and one to the south of us. The one that's going over Georgia and the cutting across into the Carolinas, that starts from the Gulf of Mexico, cutting across Mobile Bay. That's going to be our best chance to get the snow. And then the low track over us, that cuts across over us, we'll see the icy wintry mix. Overall, I think this winter is going to be colder than normal, slightly below average temperatures, not way below average temperatures, kind of a combo between the last two winters combined. We'll see 25 to 50% more snow than normal. It's not going to be as fierce as, say, it's going to be in the Midwest, upper Midwest Great Lakes and where the snow began regions of 09-10. But we're kind of caught in between two different air masses, drier, warmer to the southwest and much colder to the northeast. So we'll see how this winter plays out. But we're going to see our fair share of snow this year. And of course, there's more factors I didn't have time to get to, such as the PNA and the QBO, different indexes that measure just how the jet stream will behave in a given winter weather season. The PNA, it's kind of up in the air right now. It's hard to predict so far out, but it looks like it will be positive. And again, all that, what is the PNA? Well, it just, all you need to know is that it enables the jet stream to curve and wind its way in a way where we can get that cold Arctic air that we need so much for snow. And a QBO, well, I don't even want to try explaining that because that's just advanced meteorology, and that's that's for another day. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something, and I hope you'll join me in praying for a cold, snowy winter, or at least maybe a mild one, but still plenty of snow nonetheless. Thank you so much.